Okay, this is the Farmer's Frankenfan. I might actually call it the Purdon Farmer Fan or something like that. Anyway, Farmer Mentality created this thing, which is, it's broke, I gotta fix it. And I don't know, maybe also rancher, you could say that. Farmer, rancher, one grows animals, one grows plants. Some grow both. Anyway, this fan has no two, I guess you could say, systems that are from the same fan. The cage is from one type of fan. The blade, which is only in the middle because I was trying to remove it from the shaft there and that didn't happen, is from another fan, and it's cast aluminum. Should be awesome polished up. The motor, of all things, is off a refrigeration unit, and yeah, I broke one of the struts there wrestling this thing in the car. It's the forced perspective of the wide angle effect here. I mean, even the cage looks bigger than it should in my hand. Distorts just how huge this thing is. This motor is massive. I mean, there's my hand. Yeah, that's a big motor. Anyway, and of course I have the sensible thing going on here. I've just got some leads clipped onto it. So this motor, woo, didn't mean to quite zoom that way. This motor is off a refrigeration unit. It has one speed, which is plaid, and it's just nuts. Anyway, the pole here is, I think, just a pipe that the guy got and made a couple little brackets, which we can't really see. Maybe if I'd thought about it, grabbed a flashlight for this lighting. But he chopped a couple brackets, mounted them at a really good balance point. I was surprised at how well he has the balance point figured out there. And the top of that piece of metal is folded in such a way that the fan can only go so far back or so far forward. It can't just go straight up or completely crash down, of course, the cage being the way down. And the weird thing, this base, and I don't mean the sheet of plywood, I mean this metal base, is off a Lollipop fan. And if you don't know what a Lollipop fan is, one of the very first oscillators. We're talking early 1900s. How on earth did a Lollipop base ever wind up with a refrigeration unit motor and these blades that are cast aluminum and this cage? Just, it all got pieced together out of necessity. So, the farmer passed away. The eBayer that I bought this from said the widow had told him that, yeah, he used this in his shed. And it's just sheer terror. I love this thing. It's a little loud. It's a little obnoxious. Cats have fled the room now. Yeah, it's going around the other fans. Yeah, I would say something about the balance, but you can tell at that kind of speed and with a motor that weighs probably 60-70 pounds by itself. Nah, it's not that much. Maybe 50. But it's just a beast. You'll hear a little bit of a resonance here. Oh yeah, this is shaking in the room. The other fans are getting blown around. It's really moving a lot of air and really obnoxiously loud. And considering it has who knows how many pounds of rotating mass, it's pretty good coast down now. Well, now that I oiled it. But the first time or two I started it up, it just screamed. The blade didn't move, it twitched back and forth and just made this god-awful screechy type noise. I only had the switch on for a split second. Speaking of the switch, there's the switch. I have a little ground fault circuit interrupt switch. That's my security measure. Plugged into this or built into this cord, and then the pigtail. Yeah, I'll show you all the junk I've got knocked off the table. This pigtail just plugs into the extension cord. So, anywho, yeah, like this fan. Farmer did some neat stuff here. I actually think it's going to be a good functional fan. I just won't ever run it indoors. It will be in the garage. It won't be in the main part of the house. Bye-bye.